Frida Kahlo, The Story Behind the Artist by Emily Griffin.
Frida Kahlo was a rebel of her time and has made an iconic impression on history. She is known for her brilliantly colored self-portraits that deal with such themes as identity, the human body, and death. Although she denied the connection, she is often identified as a surrealist artist. Frida was born on July 6, 1906 in Coyoacán, Mexico. Though later in her life she would claim to be born in 1910 to be more associated with the Mexican Revolution. She lived and grew up in her family home, Casa Azul, which means blue house because it was known for its blue walls. Frida was also known for loving her native heritage and country. Frida's mother was half Amerindian, half Spanish Catholic, whereas Kahlo claimed her father was of Jewish and Hungarian ancestry. Frida was known to be her father's favorite of his 4 daughters. He claimed that Frida was the most intelligent of his daughters and the most like him. She had very poor health in childhood. At age 6, Frida was diagnosed with polio. This would cause one of her legs to be smaller and deformed. Her illness would bring her even closer to her father since he had great sympathy for his daughter. Her attachment to her father can be emphasized by her quote, "I am in agreement with everything my father taught me and nothing my mother taught me." In 1922, Kahlo was enrolled in the Preparatoria, one of Mexico's premier schools, where she was one of only 35 girls. She was to pursue a career in medicine, but gained a reputation for being a rebel and even dated a gang leader. In 1925, Kahlo was involved in a bus accident that injured her so severely that she had to undergo more than 30 medical operations. A handrail had gone through her hip and had fractured her spine and pelvis. She was temporarily immobile, and this is where her father started to encourage her to paint. Frida eventually regained mobility and felt a need to help her family with her medical bills. She wanted to see if she could do this through her paintings. Frida's paintings would be the embodiment of herself, her pain, and her experiences. In a quote, Frida said, "I paint myself because I am often alone and the subject I know best." In 1928, she sought out muralist Diego Rivera for advice about a career in art. He immediately recognized her talent and her unique expression as truly special and uniquely Mexican. In 1930, Diego and Frida would marry. This would make Frida Diego's 3rd wife. Frida loved Diego, and he would be a muse in many of her works. The couple shared political views. Frida and Diego were members of the Mexican Communist Party. Frida would accompany him to America, where he worked on commissions. It was during this time that the couple suffered a few losses. Frida had complicated pregnancies that ended prematurely or through miscarriage. In 1933, Kahlo and Rivera returned to Mexico, where they lived in a newly constructed house, comprising of separate individual spaces joined by a bridge. In 1939, the couple had divorced. Though both Frida and Diego had many affairs in their marriage, it was Diego's affair with Frida's sister, Cristina, that seemed to be a deciding factor in their divorce. This depression was very evident in her artwork. She'd even cut off all of her hair that Diego loved. Following her depression and her divorce, Frida's solo career began to launch. She had expositions in both New York and in Paris. Though Frida was very heartbroken, the couple had made their amends and remarried in 1940 and moved back into her childhood home, Casa Azul. The couple would stay married for the rest of Frida's life. In 1943, she was appointed a professor of painting at La Esmeralda at the Education Ministry School of Fine Arts. This was a very productive period for Frida's art as she continued to create work. In 1950, Frida's health once again declined. She had developed gangrene in her right foot, which led to an amputation. In 1953, at this point, her health had her bedridden as her dreams were coming true. She was having her first solo exposition in Mexico. Refusing to let her poor health stop her from seeing it, she attended the opening laying in bed. A few days before Frida Kahlo died, on July 13, 1954, she wrote in her diary, "I hope the exit is joyful and I hope never to return." The official cause of death was given as a pulmonary embolism, though some suspected she had died from overdose that may or may not have been accidental.